What's up, everybody?
Check.
Gotta Love It podcast.
What's happening?
I'm Jonah Conrad here with, we got some good friends here. We got Will at Willtothe.
We got G, aka Gniice.
Gniice.
And as usual,
IDB on the beat. We in Austin, Texas tonight.
Yeah, so we drove all the way up from San Antonio to come see you guys. We really wanted to get this podcast going. We really wanted to ask you guys some questions and sort of like pick your brain a little bit, because you guys have been in it a little bit longer than us. Well, actually a lot longer, but so yeah.
Okay. I don't know how to
let's start the podcast off.
It's a good thing. We come here to ask you guys, like, we just want to, chop it up and get some knowledge from you guys and sort of help broadcast that to our crowd, people our age.
For sure, man. I appreciate you y'all coming down and making that trip, and I love working with people who bring that dope energy, you know what I mean, and working with creatives, you know what I mean, whether it's DJs or outside of that. And so to see that y'all got this podcast and the web show going on too, it's a really dope thing. So I'm glad that y'all let us participate. So I appreciate it, man. This is dope. Yeah, one of the big I guess purposes behind this is we want to try to inspire people, creatives of all kinds. It's not even restricted really to creatives, but just anyone who's sort of striving towards something that they care about a lot, that they're passionate about. Some things that are unconventional, like music. A lot of times people will say, when you're pursuing music, they'll sort of give you some sort of comment like, well, how are you going to make money, or how are you going to do this? But it's totally possible, especially now with the internet opening up that door, Yeah. So I wanted to talk about some of that stuff. And first of all, I know that you're a father. You have 5 kids? 4
kids? Oh, shit, my bad.
Damn.
My bad.
Whoa. I think I have responsibilities.
Yeah.
Either way, though,
I got 4. Yes.
You got 4, and how old are they?
They are 9, 6, 3, and 6 months.
Dang.
Yeah, man.
Everywhere. Congrats from baby on the new baby.
Yeah. My oldest is getting ready to turn 10 in January, so that's interesting, because moving into the double digits is like crazy with kids, especially like G's got a daughter. He's got one,
but she's 12,
and she's 12. Wow. And so we trade like father stories, and like his are like on a totally different like wave than mine. And so but like I have like it's stuff that I gotta like think about when me and him, it sends me home thinking like, dang, how am I gonna dang, so, when my daughter gets age, what am I gonna do?
So with having all that on the plate, like when it comes to DJing, being a musician, being a creative, producing, making records, being a writer, whatever it is, any of those hats that you're wearing, how do you juggle like those responsibilities and feel good about how you're spending your time?
I mean, for me, obviously, I have to shout out her mother, for definitely raising her and taking majority of the responsibility. But at the same time, my daughter is a lot like me. So she DJs as well. She's learned how to play the piano. But as far as
check the IG, go check his IG. He's got some video of his daughter DJing.
And actually
work on some turntables too, by the way. And she went on the controller.
That's right.
And no shade, just I
just want her knowing the origins. You know what I mean? So Will and his wife definitely had they do a market, they allowed her to play and stuff, so she's getting some exposure. But as far as like creating, it's tough. Like we just have lives. Like it's crazy. Like go to your day job, you doing homework or whatnot, and a lot of times when I see videos of like kids that are just killing it, and I'm like, man, if they can do it, I can do it. But what I fail to realize is that when I was their age, when I come home from school, like I used to play basketball, so just put your bag down, go play basketball. Nowadays, they put their bag down, get on them turntables. That's why they're so good so fast. So I'm like, dang. So I'm fighting throughout the day just to try to get 15 minutes to practice scratching or blending stuff. So a lot of times, I know Will can attest to this. It's just either we wait till they go to sleep, or we wake up early, or like, you know, if I'm on a plane, like I was telling you earlier, off camera, you know, creating mixes on the fly, like, because there's a legitimate passion for it. It's one of those things where you make time for what you want to do.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. For me, it's more about time management, and then I think the other half of it is really if I'm inspired, to be honest with you, because, you know, for a person who, like, you know, I got young kids, I got elementary school age kids, I'm up at like 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. If I'm not up by 6 a.m., it throws my whole day off. So like 5:45, I'm boom up, do this one. You know, I'm in like go mode till you know, like 10:30. You know what I mean? And so, you know, if I have a busy day, just being a family man and taking care of and supporting my family and all that, then I may not get no creative time in. Right. But if I get inspired, I'll get my family time in, and I'll cut off sleep. I'll cut off time doing whatever it is outside of that family time, and I'll take that inspiration and then I'll get creative. You know what I mean?
Which is why we appreciate you all. Like a lot of the stuff that y'all coming out with, the stuff. I mean, him and I, we always on SoundCloud trading music back and forth. Yeah,
we do a lot of digging, and you know that's kind of for me as a DJ, as a you know, selector or a curator, or what, you know, whatever names you, A&R, whatever you want to call it. Like I'm always looking for music. Like my ear is just always dying to hear something new, something fresh, something, a sketch, an idea of something. I just have that. I have the visionary type of personality, and I also have that is in my ear as well. So like I can hear a big record before it may sound big. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I hear the full potential when I hear music or whatever, or I just get it. It talks to me in a different way. I experience it different in a deeper way. So I spend a lot of my time, maybe not on the turntables or whatever, but putting energy behind finding new music. Or, you know, I to be honest with you, I barely work on the mix anymore just because I got a residency now. But you know, I get to test new records. I get to test that one. That was soft flex.
Yeah. We gotta shout that out one time. We gotta shout out your residency one time.
Hey, that's Saturday nights at J. Stevens on 6th Street. That's 214 E6. Every Saturday night, come check me out. But man, you know, I get to test records there. Yeah. You know, test new music that I'm finding there. I collect I don't know if I should be, you know, I'm put it. I collect a folder every month of new music that I find.
I was gonna bring it up.
You gonna bring that up? We were gonna get there.
Yeah.
All right. So we just gonna dive into it. We pass folders.
But you the one that told me about that.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. I did introduce that to you, but you know, it's just always trying to stay inspired, and then, you know, if when you are inspired, making the time to utilize that, because you may not get it. It may not be there every day. You know what I mean? Just because you have a family and stuff like that, and your family can inspire you in different ways, but you know, if you know, with 4 kids and the spouse and all that, it's like
talking about inspiration. That inspires me, because like sometimes I'll be like worried about how much time I'm putting into, you know, practicing, whether it be making a mix, whatever. But I spend most of my time making beats. So if I'm not making beats, I start feeling guilty. But with the amount of time you guys seem to have, or just like when you have more responsibility, it seems like efficiency.
Making the most of your time is the big thing. It seems
with having a purpose, like every session, every time you get behind your laptop or whatever it may be.
So
that's really cool.
So like, I have a question. That being said, since you guys say that, you know, you have small pockets of time where you get that free time after you're, you know, done doing what you need to do as a family man and everything, you have those small pockets of time where you find yourselves alone and you're able to work. Do you feel like you are more inspired when those times times come up like that you just have all these built up ideas, like you're like, I can't wait to just, let all that out? Or is it difficult still sometimes, like, because you are sort of, I guess,
you're just pulled in many directions.
Yeah,
It's
pulled
like,
in many directions. How do you hone in, like whenever you do get that time,
Shoot, I don't know, man. That's a good question, because
like how do you focus?
I was thinking about this the other day. I've been a dad for like pretty much 10, like for the whole decade, right? And so and I've been DJing throughout that whole decade, you know what I mean? Whether I had a residency or whether I was, doing some creative stuff with an artist or whatever, like I made the time. Like you make the time, and when you get it, boom, it's there. You know what I mean? Because you're so used to going through your daily motions of, all right, get the kids to school. All right, go get, go to the job, go this and that. You a walking zombie. You can do that in your sleep. You know what I mean? So when it actually comes time to take those hats off and strip that down and actually get down to the creativeness that you've been holding on to, it's just there. It falls out, and it's just, you get in your zone. Me, it don't take me much to get inspired or get in my zone and shoot. Sometimes I've knocked out mixes where I've had my son, my infant in his little seat, and he's just rocking out, and I got the monitors on, and he's just like, okay, well, cool. I turn on the hue lights or whatever, and we just get it. We get it in. But it is what it is. You part of it is get it when you can.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And
is there a certain thing that you do to sort of hone in on the creative juices, like whenever you do get that time, say some sort of do you light incense, or do you just kind of like chill and listen to music for a while to sort of catch a vibe? How does that usually work?
Man, it depends, because it depends on what all I got going on. I need to let G answer this question. You go. G has
I'm very sporadic, so like I don't like nothing. I listen to music all day. So like the last flip, we were on the group chat, and Stefan sent the beat, and I wasn't really participating in the chat, but I played it a couple times, and I'm driving, and I just started singing a totally different song in my head, and I was like, man, as soon as I get home, I'm gonna mess around with that. So then I, came in the house, jumped on, did it, and I was just playing around. I sent it to Will, and then Will sent it to Patrick. Yeah, and then they were like, yeah, it's dope. So then Will put the pressure on me, was like, hey, you need to get this done. And
he had an idea. It was an idea that he had.
But I didn't know that he was going to send it to other people. But it's cool because I get very sporadic. If Will didn't say nothing, I probably wouldn't even finished it. I probably would have just did it, whatever.
And let that be a testimony to like creative friendships and creative relationships. Like if y'all like, and this is, I'm about to go off on a rant, but it's important. Like if y'all are like, if you're having like if you have a creative relationship with someone and y'all aren't constantly like pushing each other to like go the extra mile or push the envelope of what they normally do, if that's like, I've been working on flips, so I come up with ideas for flips, and you're like, well, my nigga, you don't ever put no flips out. Like all your shit's dope. You should put out a fucking flip. Like, and you put that pressure on your people. Like, yo, you need to put that out. And I told him, I said, yo, to be honest with you, you got 24 hours. Yeah. And he got on it and put it out, and it's a dope flip. I play it every weekend. Like my Serato plays on his flip, so like crazy.
And they tag me every time. I tag
every time. Like they're known. Like I play them at my residency every week, and so the people, the people who are normally in there, they know that sound, and they know who's attached to it. So when he come through the door, they know who he is, and they know what they know
I think
the
that's
type
pretty
of way
dope. It's dope because it's like, with like technology and just the way everyone has access to stuff, it's like when I create it and then I'll do it, and then like if him and I like it, like okay, cool. But then if you play it, and then because like I played it in San Antonio during what's the little thing we did, the High Vibe.
Oh, at Rumble.
Yeah, Rumble.
Yeah. Okay.
And shout out to Noah.
And shout out to Noah and Jennifer.
And then to see people singing it, And then probably the biggest like high that I get is when somebody comes up to me and they're like, "Hey man, what song is that?" And, like, and as soon as there was one guy, he was like, "Man, I tried to Shazam that." I said, "Nope, can't Shazam it."
Nope, not at all.
Nope,
right
not
there.
at all. So
That's a dig.
I love playing unreleased music.
So I definitely understand the high that like all of you all get, especially like producing stuff and then, you know, hearing people jump on it and then just take it and just, you know, build on top of that. So definitely have that production itch and you know, that's why, like I said, I appreciate you all because it kind of keeps us a little more grounded and to understand a little bit more what you guys are listening to, what you guys like, but then we can kind of come in and kind of sprinkle what we've known
right
way before that.
It's just wisdom.
And
wisdom.
odds are a lot of times people will have similar influence. Like I hear the stuff that you guys DJ and I'm influenced by the same stuff, and I feel like that's why we get along, you know?
Yeah.
We're able to connect with that.
I mean, that's actually how Will and I actually met. We were doing a Monday. I was throwing an event, Mariah Mondays. I was trying something different, you know, and we've actually done a couple of them. It's
like a curated
diva sets that we do.
Yeah.
So we had like Mariah,
like Lady Jams.
Yeah, we play Lady Jams,
but they're themed after like
Beyonce,
Rihanna, we did stuff like that.
You gotta have those.
Yeah, and it
but I was
check out the Instagram. We got a video from it.
So I was playing, but I was kind of playing it safe a little bit, like just what people already know that they know. Yeah. And then Will jumped on, and then Will started playing some of the flips. And I'm looking at him like,
I just went and flipped crazy. I was playing like all the J-Rob, all the Duncan Gerard. I was back to back, and he was just like,
so I'm looking because I have all of those, but I just never played them out because like I've never heard anybody else, you know, people be receptive to stuff. Because I looked at like SoundCloud selection, like all that is more like a cult underground type. There's only like a select few that like know about it. Right. Yeah. But he's definitely taught me how to kind of integrate you know, a lot of those flips and then you know, putting in maybe whatever one of the popular song is.
Right.
But I'm definitely one of the ones that gets the kick out of when you can't Shazam it.
Yeah, dude, for sure. And that's important because you're pushing the envelope too, you know. You are playing some stuff that people may not have heard and they're not familiar with. You know, I think that's real important.
If it feels good, it shouldn't matter what it is.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that's why we definitely take it very seriously when we put sets together and when we're out there and we're, you know, doing stuff. And you know, we're similar, but we're still very different. Because there's times we'll DJ together and I'll play stuff and I'm in my own zone and he's like, "Man, I don't know what song you were playing." Yeah. and you know, and then I know his bag. When he gets in his bag, I'm like, either I don't know the song or I'm like, dang, I forgot about that song. You know what I mean? So, so we
deep
always,
cuts. Deep cuts, they get you.
Yeah, dude, I have this thing for, I really like to get real experimental right around the peak time, you know, whenever I got the room full and I'm playing the cuts that everybody knows, you know, I like to just throw in that one deep cut that most people haven't heard of because I like to just test it, you know, and throw people off and see how they respond. Record. Like a lot of times I'll throw in my own music. Same. I'll have people going, you know, and I'll just throw something in that's a similar BPM.
But that's what makes you a good DJ, because if you think about it, originally it was the DJ's job was to break the new music. Yeah. You know, and I think a lot of times people nowadays shy away from that. They just want to play whatever's on top 40. Yeah. You know, it's easy because I can go on Spotify and see what the top 40 songs are. I can play that and I'm good. Convenient. Like that's not fun. You know?
Not much resistance.
No. You know, because my thing is, if you want to hear the new, I don't know, Cardi B or whatever, it's like you probably were listening to that pulling up to the party.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
what you need me for?
Yeah,
dude, like that's one thing I like about,
get you an experience, like, you know.
That's one thing I really like about Austin is you guys do a lot of that. It's a lot of really different stuff, like
experiences.
In particular, the new wave, they do a lot of really cool stuff too, and I'm sure there's plenty around.
Shout out to Joaquin, Stefano,
Joe Quella.
Shout out to all those people. Shout out to everybody, all the homies. You know what I'm saying? New wave. So Stefano. I really like how, you know, they'll have like a warehouse party. You know, I went to the J-Rob show here.
I was there too.
Yeah,
I went to that.
Oh, tight. Yeah, that was great. They had an open bar. It was in this warehouse space. it was just a little unconventional. It was pretty cool. I liked the feel in there. People
It's like
were
a
able
boiler
to,
room style.
right? People were able to do whatever they wanted, you know.
And everybody was different. Like everybody came from, you know, I like it because it's definitely very diverse.
Yeah.
You know, people got different styles.
Right.
You know,
So it
whether
keeps
it's
it
fashion
exciting.
or whatnot, but like everybody comes together and we all like have an appreciation for, you know, the music that's being played.
Right. So that being said, you know, one thing that we want to bring to San Antonio is something like that, like a warehouse
Vibe.
vibe.
Yeah.
And we have a few places in mind, but would y'all have any advice for how to sort of get something like that started? Because in San Antonio, the culture is it's really based around what's going on the St. Mary's strip. So like the one strip where there's all those clubs and stuff. And it's great because it's awesome there.
Yeah.
It's real fun there, you know, don't get me wrong. But since they are, you know, establishments, they are bars, there's certain things that come with that. Like sometimes you get people who start fights who they're not there for the music. They're there to sort of, you know, just do their thing,
box.
drink and stuff. And some people get out of hand and start fighting and all that. So yeah, I mean, if we wanted to sort of try to get into that, would you guys have any advice for something like that? Like how to sort of help those people gravitate from there to where we're going, or how to, I guess, develop our own crowd, how to find our own people.
I think you need to, but the first thing you probably should do is look at your following, like, you know, tap into the city, you know what I mean? To see who fucks with you, you know, see who's going to come out and come see you play. Like, go somewhere off of the strip. You got to bet on yourself before anybody else bet on you. You know what I mean?
I like that.
Like that's how people tap in. You know what I mean? Or that's how you find out who's really tapped in.
Right.
You know what
right.
I mean? I had done events on my own where it was only like 30 people in the room, but you know, shoot, at least I knew. You know, that at least I knew
people are solid supporters.
Yeah, at least I knew if I could pull 30, at least I know what my things like, and I know what I got to do to get more. You know what I mean? I got to find out how all those 30 people got tapped in, and then after that, I got to see how other people like them get tapped in, and then I just got to go that route. You know what I mean? But that would be the first thing I would do. You know, see what kind of pull you can. You know, you have in the city, and then just bet on yourself. You have to do it.
Right.
Get out there and then just do it.
Yeah.
Bet on yourself. For real. Because that's the only way you're going to find out.
And I think a lot of times it's really network.
That too.
Because I've been in Austin a little over 2 years. And for me, I've really just kind of, if I'm not DJing, I just do rounds where I just go say what's up to people. I don't want nothing.
G be pulling up on everybody.
I don't need nothing from you. I'm just, hey.
G will pull up on you.
Hey, how you doing?
He pulled up on me.
G will pull up on you.
He pulled up on me.
He pulled up on you.
Hey, it was 5 minutes.
That's true. I even told Ian that.
Yeah,
I told Ian, I was like, he just parked his car outside, hopped in, said what's up.
Shout out to Sage for still acting like he don't know who I am. I walked up, and I was like, hey.
Come on, Eddie.
I said, hey, you know, I was asking if you.
Hey, shout out to Gniice. She on tour right now, man.
That's cool.
I'm proud of the kid,
That's
man.
cool. But I walked up. I was like trying to see if you were there, and he pointed at the equipment, and I'm like, you know, where'd he go? And he's like, I don't know. I was like, all right. So then I walked out, and that's when I seen you and stuff like that. But like for me, it's just getting that FaceTime with people, because from just what I've learned and just being networking and stuff, it's one of those things where relationships are very important. And it's like, you know, I may not want anything from you, but just checking on people goes a long way. And it's like, at the end of the day, like, you know, you talking about San Antonio, I mean, me and Will had fun when we went down there. So, so even if you threw an event, like, Will come.
Check the IG.
Yeah.
There's video from that night too on IG. Check that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But my biggest thing with that is like, I know a lot, and I even Will pointed out to me. He was like, "Man, you know a lot of people," and I didn't really think about it, like from venues.
She's very well connected
to you know, real estate agent. Like I know like all kinds of stuff.
Right.
And for me, it's just a matter of putting those pieces together.
Right.
You know what I mean? So Anytime someone's trying to do something, they're like, oh, I'm looking for whatever. I'm like, oh, well, shoot, I know these guys in San Antonio, they throw their own event. You know what I mean? Like, it's easy for me to do that, but it's just one of those things where for me, I know a lot of people, but I don't really have the pull yet. I can put people together.
Right. You
know what I mean?
You're the catalyst.
So it's really about having that network, like you said, having a network in that, and knowing the value of that, and then you can find it, and then after that, you just go set out a plan, a list or a plan of actions, and then you execute on every single one of them. You know what I mean? Don't miss any of them, and then hold yourselves and each other accountable for them. And then just move forward, and then next thing you know, you'll see it become a reality.
And then when approaching these venues, it's one of those things where, from what I'm seeing, it's like everyone does the same thing, and it's just like, if you're gonna go talk to the owner. Don't talk to the waitress. Knowing the waitress, or knowing somebody like don't get in the business of having the door in. Go to the source. Go to the people who write the checks. They're there. They're sitting by themselves in the bar on their phone or on Twitter or whatever. Go talk to them. Have relationships with those owners. Yeah, because all you do is walk in like, hey, I'm looking for the owner. And it's like, all right, and I might sit down and have a drink with you. Yo, how long you own this place? Is it always like this?
Talk to them.
Just. Oh, okay, cool. Pleasure to meet you, yada yada, and leave. I won't say nothing about throwing an event, nothing. Just
just straight building rapport.
If I come back, they're like, "Hey, what's going on, man? What you up to?" Then I'm like, "Yeah, I'm kind of developing this idea, trying to do." Then I'll do that, and they're like, "Well, shoot, let me know what you need. If you need a venue, actually, I do." You know what I mean? So it's more like a chess game versus
that's game right there.
A lot of times people,
y'all better go rewind that and take notes. Jesus broke it.
We're playing checkers. They're playing
Jesus gave you straight up game right there.
That's what I do. Like I'll walk in, and they'll say what's up, and how are you? Like what's going on with you? How was your week? Whatever. Like it doesn't matter. Like, hey, South by is coming up. What are y'all doing to prepare for that? Oh, we ain't really thought about some stuff yet. Oh, okay, cool. Well, I got this. What you think about this? You think there's something we could pull here? And it's like, I already got the people. I already have the equipment.
Always talk to the people who can make decisions, not the people who talk to the people.
Because when you're talking to the little cute bartender, they're
not invested.
She might not even be there the next time you show up.
She's just there for the paycheck. That's it.
The owners are the ones who like, if I'm out, people are like, oh, you always out. Yeah, but I'm not out drinking, partying. No, I'm making moves.
Yeah.
Because
there's purpose in those movements.
Right.
Because say you do your idea and your idea gets big. I'm like, hey man, I got these guys in San Antonio. They're starting to grow. They're doing their thing. Show them a little video of it. Show them the crowd. I'm like, hey, we think about doing something similar out here in Austin. What can we do to kind of bring them out here? They're like, man, I love that, yada yada. And
see, that's why I feel like we've been trying to place more importance on like content and like not just making shit happen, but like creating like content around what you made happen and just
you do
build a resume.
Because if you think about it, if I just walk into a random place and I'm talking to the owner, I'm like, hey, I DJ. Do y'all need any more DJs?
Show me, right?
No,
that's not the way. That's not the way, because the way things are now, I showed you the little Hercules thing. I mean, you can go get $200, go get something and say you a DJ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where we advertise it more as we're curators and we're trying to create experiences.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you're just a bar, you just, and like I tell a lot of DJs, when you're in these bars, your job is to sell drinks. You're not the star. It's not about you.
It's not cool.
You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where for us, it's like, all right, I'm going to Jay Stevens. Oh, Willtothe is playing. I remember when he played the last time. It's an experience. I'm sitting at the bar talking to a guy. He's like, hey man, I really like this guy. And I'm like, yeah man, he's dope. He's cool, right? I'm acting.
I heard him before.
Right?
Cool.
Then the guy's like, yeah, I was here last. He was like, yeah, I was here last Friday. And this guy was playing. He was playing kind of similar stuff to him. And I just started laughing because it was me. I was like, yeah, that was me. Like I was playing.
All those bald-headed black guys with beards look the same.
And I'm like, and he came and he played a little bit, you know, on my set or whatnot.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, that was y'all, wasn't it? I was like, yeah. So, you know what I mean? So just talking to the crowd and stuff like that, it's one of those things where we built a relationship in there, and you know, smaller venue, but it's a little more intimate. And I think for us, it's more, because it's that intimate, like I said, we can create that more of an experience for you. That way when you leave, it's like, dang,
right,
you remember it. So
for advice, for, you know, general advice for a producer DJ, what would you guys say, you know, from your point of view, would be a good way for someone to make themselves stand out more unique, I guess, more different in today's atmosphere, you know, based on what you see is going on in music today in the world? What advice would you give to someone who wants to stand out? Like what do you think should be done more? What do you want to see more of, you know?
I'll let you go first.
Appreciate that, Z.
Will and R.
Shit. Honestly, I think you should always be yourself and stay true to your sound, but always be aware of how things change around you and evolve with it. You know what I mean? You don't want to always be stuck. Like if you was in your prime in 2004, you don't want to be in 2020. You know what I mean?
Doing the same thing.
Sounding like you were in 2004.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you hear, when you
around by
when
then.
you hear it,
in that amount of time.
But you know, the thing is, you just stay true to yourself, but make sure that you're, you know, aware of your surroundings and aware of what everything else sounds like. You know, because I know plenty of producers that are like, I don't listen to no new music, and I'm like, but you make music and you're trying to place music, new. So how do you not listen to new music? And it's like, and I mean, I get it. You don't want to get, you don't want to get influenced by the new stuff that's out. But I mean, you got to think about it. If everybody else is chopping up the beats a certain way, and that's what's getting played in the radio, and that's what's this and that, and that's how the sound has evolved, and yet you aren't chopping beats, you ain't chopping up samples, and you ain't making no chops, you ain't chopping nothing.
You're holding yourself back.
You're holding yourself back.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And you're not, you're not at least given what's happening in sound design or whatever, or what's current. You're not even giving that a chance. So you're not even giving the people you're not giving my kids a chance to like your music.
Right.
That's the way I see it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like if when you start to look at it that way, then that makes you kind of like change how you view yourself as
like
a
the
DJ
culture
and
of the
producer.
music and all.
You think about, okay, what are the kids listening to now? Like what's the dope shit out now that the 4 and 5 year olds are gonna be like? I remember Bobby Brown. You know what I mean? I was born in '84. I remember Bobby Brown. I remember Keith Sweat. I remember all this. I remember that stuff like it was yesterday. You know what I mean? I was just a kid. So when I go look at my kids, I got 9, 6, 3, and an infant. You know what I mean? I'm looking at the last decade of music, and I'm looking at the type of music that was given to my daughter, who's getting ready to turn 10. Yeah. And it's like, what did she get? She got
Lil Nas X.
She got Drake. She got you know what I mean?
She got Kendrick.
And she's she's at that age now where she's like hitting the wall, and she's doing TikTok. That stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so it's, when I look at I think about music.
I got MC Hammer
a little bigger. I think about music a little bigger. So
Vanilla Ice. That's who I got.
It's always good to see producers and artists stay true to themselves, but yet remain who they are as the times change. You know what I mean? And they respect that, but also stay true to themselves. So I understand it's a challenge working closely with producers. I understand that, but I think that should be something that should always be in the back of the mind of a producer. And as a DJ, man, always keep your ear to the street and play good music. Right. You should be a spreader of good. It is your job to spread good music. You have to spread good music.
Yeah, like G said earlier.
People will like good music if you play it. They just don't know it. You got to give it to them.
Yeah. Like G said earlier, I think it's important to remember the roots of where DJing comes from.
Exactly.
You got to break the new records. You got to play the stuff that people haven't heard.
Yeah, give it, and then bring the stuff, and then go back and find the stuff that we forgot about.
That's why I like samples, because it's like a sample may mean something. Because more importantly, DJing, you need to know your audience. So we've done weddings, we've done bars, our own events, and different things. And for me, it's always within the first 30 minutes, know your audience. So if I can, so what I learned was make people feel like they're in high school or in college. So if you know who your audience is, you do that for, give them that. That's what kind of keeps them, and then sprinkle in maybe some newer stuff, or kind of even go back to some older stuff. But it's you have to listen to the new stuff. And I think for me, I understand why some people don't, but it's still not an excuse. It's just not.
Right. Still should be
there's stuff to me that's like trash, but at the end of the day, I still respect people's art.
Right.
If they're an actual artist, there's a difference between, I just had money and put some stuff together, and my dad or my mom or whatever, and I'm on site. Like there's difference between that. But I think the problem today is that the quantity has drastically outweighed the quality.
Right.
So it's hard for us to filter through a lot of stuff.
Right.
So like Will will name different artists, and I'm like, damn, I was supposed to check out that album. Or like I may have something, and Will has no idea about it, but I'm like, that's what somehow, some way, that's what gravitated towards me. And then there's times we'll find something together, like Snow Allegra.
So then what defines what's popping, like bottom line? Is that what you're saying? Like it's important as a DJ to like take hold of that responsibility and make it
because
popular?
I'm a perfectionist and obsessive. I feel like I need to know everything. I had a situation last year where I did a holiday party and I could not get them to move. I'm like, y'all don't want to look at me the whole night. You remember because you showed up.
Yeah.
Man, that was the first time I was struggling. But what ended up happening is they had given me a playlist like what the DJ's done earlier and all this other stuff. I'm like, all right, cool, too easy. But what happened is the company had hired like 100, 200 new people, but it was a totally different demographic. And they were from Dallas. So someone came up to, like, I played Usher, like that is the go-to. Everybody knows that. Like if I can't get one person to dance to Usher, like I was in trouble. If I can't get one person to that, like, because it was, I was going in my wedding bag. Like these are the songs that I play at the weddings. But long story short, they were more a country crowd. So I have the country, but then what I realize is there's country, there's Texas country.
Shout out George Strait.
Yep, George Strait.
And then there's a country waltz.
Had to be born and raised in Texas to understand that.
Country waltz.
No matter where you're from.
Yeah.
So I played some country waltz song, and like the whole room got up and they was doing this little country waltz dance thing, and I'm like, all right, thank God for Spotify, because
like everybody knew to go to it, and
I was like, all right, I guess this is the ride we going for the next 30 minutes.
Yes,
but
know your crowd.
Your crowd.
I want to know my crowd before my crowd gets to the venue. Is that possible? Is that possible?
I thought I did. When you throw your own events,
when you throw your own events, or you got enough people who kind of check you out, and you kind of build a little bit of a following.
Yeah.
And that's also why I go to different places too.
True.
Because I hear what other people are playing, and it's like,
right.
You see how other people react to it.
Doing research.
Especially like Usher, I'm like, nope, can't play that.
And these people
can't play that. Don't play that.
Don't play. Yeah.
You want to go first?
I'm curious to learn a little bit more about like you all's background and what made y'all get into producing, and kind of what artists do y'all listen to, or producers, like favorite producers, things of that nature.
Okay, cool. I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, cool. So yeah, I grew up listening to soul music. That's what my parents put me onto as a little kid.
Really?
Yeah. I have older siblings too, so it was really a big variety of stuff that was being played when I was young. So as a young child, I listened to a lot of the Temptations, Diana Ross, Smokey Robinson,
That's what's up.
Four Tops. Even the Temptations by themselves, like David Ruffin stuff, and
shout out David
Eddie
Ruffin.
Kendricks. Yeah. I actually met Otis Williams.
Really?
Yeah, when I was a little kid, because
dope.
he was like the last surviving member. Yeah.
That's random as hell.
It's a really random story. Like he was the last surviving dude from the Temptations.
Yeah.
And for some reason, they came to Lubbock, Texas, which is where I lived at the time.
I could see them stopping at Lubbock.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess. For some reason, they were there, and it just so happened that I was in love with them. So I went to go watch them, and afterwards we snuck backstage. It wasn't that hard because it's like Lubbock. Yeah. So
that's why
we got backstage, and my parents introduced me to him. I was still probably like 5 or 6 years old.
Dope.
Took a picture with him, but it's funny because his head is sort of cut off because I was so short and he was so tall. Yeah, so people might not believe me, but
that's cool. Yeah, it's a cool story.
So I grew up listening to soul music. My older brother listened to a lot of hip hop, tons of like Chopped and Screwed, Zero, DJ Screw. That's what he put me onto. I had 2 sisters, so one was really into all the new R&B, like the Lady Jams, the 2000 stuff, Aaliyah and Ashanti, and she listened to a lot of J-Lo and stuff like that because she's Latina.
Nice.
So then my other sister was a hardcore like metalhead, so she put me on to Deftones, Tool, Perfect Circle.
You owe it all to the siblings.
Yeah,
man.
right.
You're the youngest?
Yeah, I'm the youngest.
Oh man.
Yeah, so they were all over the place, and then my parents.
Youngest of how many?
He's
4?
like the Kylie.
4. Yeah. So that's
he's like the Kylie. He's like the hybrid.
Yeah, and my parents listened.
That's gonna be my son, my youngest son. He's gonna be like, man, my
sister, hybrid of all of them.
That's crazy, man.
Exactly.
That's dope.
So my parents listened. They bonded over Tejano music, so a lot of that too.
Selena.
Selena, and lots of cumbias and stuff like that at the family parties and stuff. So
I got a lot of stuff to give you.
Yeah, dude, I need some of that. I need those cuts. I need the deep cuts. I need to stay true to my roots. So that's the influence as a kid. As I got older, I started to play the drums when I was 11. I asked my dad for a drum kit, so he made me work all summer and stuff. So he would buy me one. I eventually earned it and had it in the garage. And I would play, all the time. I joined like a few little scene emo bands because I was into that stuff at the time. Keith. I was really all over the place.
Kids we went to school with that were like part of the band, right?
Yeah.
Y'all childhood friends?
Yeah. We've known each other since we went to the same elementary school, middle school,
and high school.
Hey man, that's so.
For one question.
Yeah,
that's great, man.
Exactly.
That's cool.
That's dope.
Yeah. So that being said, I got older. When I was playing the drums, I was real into Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, all that type of stuff. So. The Doors, Led Zeppelin. Yeah. I get older. Eventually, my mom got tired of me playing the drums because it was always so loud and it was always getting the neighbors called. And the neighbors were calling the police and shit like that. So it was like not good. You know what I mean? It just wasn't good for anybody. My mom would
I'm playing good music.
Exactly. But so then I sold the drum kit and got a machine and bought a computer, some monitors and stuff. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So from there, I started making beats. When I was making beats, I was real into. I love to study Madlib, J Dilla, Ninth Wonder, like Lord Finesse. I just really like to study the guys who were real good at like chopping samples on those
MPCs.
Like MPC, not the MPCs, the keyboards, the
ASR,
like the sample ASR. Length is only like 4 or 5 seconds or something.
Remember the Roland XP80?
No, never.
You don't remember that?
I know about that.
Oh man, the Roland XP80, you could sample and you could put the samples on, not also on the keyboard, but you could also put them on the drum pad, and so you could play them. But you could also, if you wanted to like change the key or whatever, you could play them on the keys.
That's how my setup. I feel like I've seen that.
And then it had a sequencer to where you could sequence too. It was
like physical sequencer.
It was it was dope. It was all on board, and it saved all your beats to like a little floppy disk.
That's crazy. I wish I got to experience floppy disk.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Shout out to my homie David Tate. He used to use the XP80 hard, Roland XP80 hard. Yeah,
floppy disk.
Yeah. I bet you can get that keyboard probably for like $300 now, bro.
Yeah, I'm sure it's on eBay somewhere.
Yeah, really? $200-$300. Yeah. You probably get the sound packs.
Who's that guy that produced like a lot of Drake stuff? Doesn't he use one of those? Jake One. you familiar with that?
I think so. Yeah, he uses something like that. Yeah, that's crazy.
So yeah, those are
about 40.
No,
Jake
no,
one.
Jake one. Yeah,
Okay.
from
I was like, because 40 uses a lot of the native instruments.
Yeah, machine.
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
definitely.
Yeah.
So, I started with Machine. I would chop a lot of samples. I would go to Hog Wild Records in San Antonio, Texas, and like,
I know about them.
yeah. I would always.
Yeah.
I was still like 17, so I was pretty broke. So I would go to the bargain section and just kind of get what
that's
I
where
could
they
get.
at.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know.
damn, that's dope.
And so I wanted to learn how to chop off of vinyl, like how JD and Madlib
Mhm.
would do it.
Yeah,
Because it just had that dirt on it when you would sample from there. So
Right.
started doing that. I eventually started making beats, and then I went into throwing parties in San Antonio at this loft called Blue Star.
I know.
It was called 123 Blue Star, but it was a bunch of lofts. The address was 123, so we would throw parties there, and I would play house music. I would have a bunch of friends that we would DJ with. We'd play house music, like selection shit, like
Yeah.
flips, different. We wanted to play different stuff. It was sort of like a little underground club.
Okay.
Started doing that, and yeah, since then I've been producing my own records. Like I've released 4 full-length albums.
Nice.
Woo.
Myself.
Accomplishments,
4
man.
full-length albums.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
My G.
Over here
Yeah,
with like
yeah.
one or
I
two
see.
cuts. I'm
Yeah.
like,
I know, yeah.
you said 4
Yeah,
full
no, I'm
length.
yeah. Been doing it for
Step
about
my
5
game
years
up.
now. So
5
what's
years.
up,
yeah, and DJing, around this, like I started DJing around the same time too. So DJing
Okay.
for just as long. I've
Yeah.
been playing in the clubs in San Antonio since I was like 19. They would,
Wow.
yeah, I would just get snuck in and stuff through the side. Just like, you know what
Hop
I mean?
on, do your thing.
That's
Yeah,
stuff, man.
That's
exactly.
what
what's up.
happens when,
Yeah,
you're,
so-
when you're dope.
Yeah, 22 now. So
Dang.
just
Dang.
yeah,
Crazy.
still trying to.
22 out, man.
To be 22 right now.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Be 22 right now. Have all the stuff that have access to the things like
That y'all have, man.
access to, and like being able to like connect with people so easily.
Yeah.
It's like I used to think that like y'all's generation didn't know the power of it until I started to meet and hang around
Those
like
that
more
do.
y'all.
Yeah.
And it's like
The ones that do.
the ones that do. Y'all motherfucking
Yeah.
got it. Y'all like, yo, if we
Yeah.
gotta drive to Austin, we'll pull up and we'll get this, even like you're doing now, like I'll pull up and get this content. You just let us know we ready. We're the ones with the lives where it's like, yo, I put the kids in bed and get the one, da, da, da. And then, y'all just like, yo, we ready. Boom, boom. So it's like y'all understanding that power of the internet and being able to like
Crazy. It's so
execute
crazy.
and watch YouTube and learn how to do stuff from YouTube or figuring things out yourself and then saying, oh, I figured it out. Let me share it so other people can figure it out. And it's like having that in your mind and thinking like that. That's like that gives me a lot of hope for the generation. You know what I mean? And for like my kids, because like my kids, like the stuff that I play. The music I played in my sets is the same stuff I listen to around my kids. You know what I mean? So it's like they
It's only natural,
hear your remixes, they hear the way you
cool.
chop up your sample. Like that's the soundtrack to their lives. Like that's the stuff they listen to in the mornings when they're going to school.
Damn.
You know what I mean? And so
Appreciate that.
it's like the power that y'all have and the it being so potent and y'all like actually executing and putting that music out there, it's like it's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that that y'all do that. I don't know why I interjected, but
No, it's cool. We don't fuck
No,
with
I'm
it.
just gonna say, like,
speaking to like why y'all do what y'all do and like
there's
being,
no
being,
boundaries.
being young, and, like being,
no
being young
boundaries,
and, and being being the age that you are and having so much access is like it's like a really powerful thing, and like seeing it executed so well. Amongst like so many different inspiring
This man
artists, and
said
producers
22.
and DJs and stuff. It's like
Still tripping
22.
out.
22, man.
22.
Zalen's 21. Jay's 25.
I was in Alabama when I was 22. All I knew was the Atlanta sound. Like that's what was.
Dude, I love
That's what was
Atlanta.
going on. Like,
Yeah, y'all was in Atlanta
I love Atlanta
doing your
too.
thing.
Yeah.
You were in
That was
Atlanta
awesome.
too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we went together, he and I.
Yeah. Tell us about you, because I'm not familiar with your stuff at all, man. So
I'm low key. I haven't released much, honestly. Like
Really?
I'm pretty green, but
but you haven't.
but yeah, like
I know you got it.
I know you got some. I know you sitting on some heat.
Oh, dude, he's got it, bro. He's got it.
I know he's got it.
I just started. I mean, I was in band like my whole life. I was in like the community band. Yeah, I got SoundCloud.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on Spotify and all that.
Find your shit.
Yeah, we got him on all the platforms.
Appreciate it.
You got them all up? Okay.
Yeah.
Nah, but like,
Yo, this is Gotta Love It Records.
Yeah, GottaLoveIt.
yeah.
Well, I love it.
What instruments did you play in band?
All the saxophones.
Okay.
Started on clarinet and also played guitar.
Okay.
Like
Woodwind, shout out.
Yeah, shout out to
I used to play alto.
I play alto saxophone.
Alto first chair. Let's go.
Marching band. Yes, sir.
Challenge every Friday.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
I think I might have been first chair like a couple times, but like
I think I was first chair once.
One, like 2, 3. You know?
I did it once.
If you ain't first chair, dog.
Dude, I was never first chair. So.
It wasn't my niche, you know. Like
I got you.
I just felt like that was good for like the elective credits you needed and shit, you know.
Yeah.
Kept doing that, but I was always like listening to music and like listening to Ludacris and shit like that with my friends, and just like turning my speakers up as loud as I could and shit. That's like stupid, but and then like honestly, I just started buying like equipment to make music because like I went on YouTube like everybody else does, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you see
shout out to YouTube.
You see like I saw like this artist named Felly and like, you know, some like surfer kids from California just like making beats on a machine. And I was like, damn, like that's so dope. And then he's like putting vocals on it, and it just intrigued me. And I was like, you know, I love music. I want to be locked in the studio. So I just started building my own home studio.
That's what's up.
And like, you know,
His home studio's badass.
I just recorded full length songs, like all the way through from making the music to composing the beat to mixing down the vocals, mastering my shit. Putting it out, make the cover art.
He's got it all. He does it all from audio engineering.
I'm gonna have to check.
He's a really good audio engineer.
Put me on.
But look,
for sure.
The thing that blows my
I'm trying
mind
to get you
about
to make me sound good, man.
Bro, but that's what I'm saying. It's like the people that can wear all the hats, like, you know, like y'all
the one-man band.
Yeah. You're a one-stop shop. And like when we spend time in Atlanta, like I went out by myself last year to A3C, like by myself, and literally we got to go together this last year. And I just told him, I was like, yo, like go out there, experience it, like trust me, like you won't regret paying and doing it. And like we had a really good experience, learning a lot, but we also learned like the people that stand out are the people that can do more than just like one specific thing. And it's like those are the people that get in touch with the catalysts of like groups like A&Rs or whatever it is, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm learning that, but it's nice to see that like that's reality, like from seeing how you guys work.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. Yeah. And it's you know, putting together these products and, you know, actually taking these ideas that, you know, all the artists run around with and, you know, actually packaging them and making them available to the public and actually like getting them in the right hands and getting them in the right hands of people who actually play the music and you know, linking up with the right producers and, you know, doing all of that matchmaking and building the relationships is like, it's important, you know what I mean? Or else the music just stays on a hard drive somewhere and, you know, you're not serving the purpose of making music, and that's to speak to people with a universal language. Music's, you know, it's a universal language. Like you go to countries where they don't even speak English and they rapping they know your music and stuff. You know what I mean? These are people you'll never connect with, but you would never connect with. They would never come to your America. You know, because of whatever, but because you make beats that speak to them. They lock in with you, and that's how they're able to talk to you from stuff that you made in your living room. You know what I mean? So that's the importance of having, you know, A&R and having artist development and stuff like that. Is because otherwise it's just somebody has to come in and pour the gasoline on the, or somebody has to strike the match and drop it on the gasoline.
Right. Take
it, because otherwise it's just
potential energy.
It's just potential. So, it just evaporates into the air, and it's just, you know.
It's true.
you don't want that.
That's so cool, because he's said this like many times in situations like it's like, yo, like I'll have a cool idea or whatever, like an opportunity, and I'll like pitch it and be like, yo, like, hey, you got this opportunity over here, this person wants to throw the show, blah blah blah. He's like, all right, cool, like let's like do it, like show me or whatever. You know, it's not about like just, you know, having the ideas and stuff. Anyone can sit there and daydream about content or putting together an event. You just have to actually like light that, like strike that match or
execute.
Execute.
It's all about that execution, man.
That's crazy.
For sure.
It's real.
For sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so the way that Ian and I met,
Shit.
like we said, we went to the same elementary school, middle school, high school. We knew of each other throughout all that time. And eventually after we graduated, you were like in your last year of college, I think.
Yeah. That's when I started. I just went to college and I was like, fuck, I have $700 in my account. I'm going to buy a machine off Craigslist for $600 and then go to Louisiana and go to school. And from there, it was just like, I locked myself in my room all the time.
Yeah. So, I had been making beats for about 4 years, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Ian and I had a mutual friend named Brian.
Okay.
He and I would make beats together. So one day Brian comes over. He was coming to like a beat making session I was having at the house. I was just running like a studio out of the house.
Right.
And Brian comes over. He's like, "Oh, can I bring my friend Ian?" So then Ian comes in and you know, we just link up. I'm like, "Yo, what's up? Show me some beats." He plays some beats. I'm like, "All right, this is dope. this guy's dope."
That's
You know
it.
what I mean, yeah, exactly. That's pretty much how it went. And so since then, we pretty much stuck together. Like, we just get along really well, and we're able to, you know, bounce off each other and balance each other too.
Yeah.
Keep each other in check too.
So it makes y'all around the same age?
I'm 23.
Yeah, he's 23.
I only hang out with people that inspire me, so it's like I feel like that should be everybody, right?
Right.
Yo, no, that's
smart.
a big part. That's a big part of it, man. That's a big part of it because you know, like life will throw all kinds of like shit at you. You know what I mean? And if you're not surrounded by like people who inspire you, like your creativity will take the hit too. You know what I mean? And you'll be overwhelmed by just life itself. And it's like, you know, you gotta at least have an outlet, or at least be around people that give you ideas on how to process things and how to creatively process shit,
genuinely
you know?
Have your best interests.
Yeah, that's right. That too. Right. You know, at least
because the haters are good. They they come out of the woodworks, man. It's one of those things where like, no, they do, man.
Start seeing a little bit of some light over here, and they want to come, cast a shadow.
They do. I mean, hey, what you playing?
It's part of life.
I see you playing all these flips. Who are these dudes?
Yeah.
Nah, don't worry about all that.
You got people sneaking in your apartment, like putting a flash drive on your computer.
Showing up to the sets.
Go ahead.
Showing up to the sets.
Yo, let me get that. Let me get that folder. Send me that. Airdrop me that.
On the pile next to your Why is this all recorded?
Airdrop's crucial. You know, it's funny. Like that's what. So when I was first learning how to DJ and. All right, I started with virtual DJ on my PC.
Yeah, I remember virtual DJ. Yeah,
the keyboard shortcuts and stuff. Like you didn't really need a controller. You obviously you
just go straight into the auxiliary, man.
The aux, exactly.
The auxiliary, man. I used to love virtual DJ.
I used to use it on the iPad, actually.
Really?
Man.
Yeah, on the iPad.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so I would map out the keyboard controls to where I didn't even need a controller and stuff. But then eventually, you know, obviously I wanted to use one. So
man, I used to love virtual DJ. Bro.
Yeah, that was the shit, dude. That was the shit.
That was a good time.
So it was around I think I was probably like a senior in high school. I was probably like 17, 18. And like I said, I had a job, but it paid me maybe $8 an hour or some shit. And I couldn't afford a controller, right? So
I think they all paid $8 an hour back then.
Yeah, exactly. So like,
unless you was a manager, then you got like what, 15?
Yeah. So I spent all my money on
12. Yeah, 12. 12.
Honestly, no, it's still like that, right? 11.25 at Starbucks.
Oh,
yeah. I'm out of there though. I'm out of there.
Yeah. So I would fill up a flash drive with music, and I would drive to Guitar Center in SA, and I would take out one of their, you know, I would unplug the controller, plug in my flash drive, drop my folder in there real quick, and then plug it back in, and I would just practice on that.
Slick.
I would stay there for a few hours too. I don't know, and I would use all the badass controllers they had, all the DDJs, all that shit. You know what I mean? So because I mean, I didn't have shit else. So I would try out everything they had, and that's where I would really get a lot of practice in and stuff. And I would just throw in the headphones and just fucking go off. And
no one's coming up. No practicing.
Yeah.
No one's gonna.
I remember the first time I did it, I unplugged the wrong USB or whatever, and a little alarm starts going off. It's like beep, beep.
Well, you know what's crazy though about Guitar Center? You can, like, nowadays you go into into Guitar Center, like nobody's playing with the equipment at all.
Right.
All right, it's usually dead.
And they got all this stuff set up and plugged in.
Usually I am.
And nobody's like it'd be like it'd be like one person in there, but there's room for like 20 people to be
right.
Bro, they got like 40 guitars on the wall. It don't be 40 people in there taking them off and playing with them shits. They got like 3 drum sets sitting around. Ain't no people playing. All the keyboards are plugged in.
Right.
No, like
no one's playing.
Yeah. Because everybody's just clicking. That's how they're making music like that.
Yeah. All those loops.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That doesn't like none of that doesn't even happen anymore.
You're right.
All that stuff's available to you.
Yeah.
Like they used to have I don't know if they still have it, but they used to have a whole ass recording studio.
Yeah.
They still have it.
You can test out
with the desk and everything. And you could literally
have a Mac up there
with a Mac, and you could and they had like the blue. What you used to have a blue mic, right?
Yeah.
Is that blue mic that you could sit there and just record?
You know how to use it. You could just use it.
That's crazy.
They would even have machines in there at one point.
Yeah, I feel like
a machine in there and like have the software up, and you can just make it.
I want to go knock out a project in that studio.
Right, it gets
like an EP.
That would be like a really dope
film
like a web series. If somebody like I'm over here just giving free game, but fuck it, we're rolling. Hey, so like if somebody just pulled up with like you linked up with producers at Guitar Center, every Guitar Center is gonna steal this idea. If they in every like major city. And you just had them create a beat in Guitar Center off with everything that's in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like
just walk around with the iPhone
with your shit.
Yeah,
like just mob in there and just be like,
no, they just walk in and they just like, all right, cool, I'm gonna get that, get this, and then they just walk into the studio and they just carry it all in there with a shopping cart and then they just load it all up, play with it, they go put it back, bounce it to their phone, they hop into the Uber, put in their headphones and they just buff off. Like,
I feel like that'd
be dope as shit, right?
That'd be tight.
That'd be crazy.
I'm stealing it.
Imagine like K Tronada did some shit like that. Like you go to like Chicago and you get like Monty Booker ain't in there no more, but like you go to California and go link up with like Monty Booker and like
dude,
all those crazy producers and shit. Austin
you already know, dude.
But like they gotta go to Guitar Centers or like in music stores.
Dude, I like Monty because he'll sample like the most random noises.
Shout out to Monty too, man.
You could pitch that idea
sample
to
some of that,
Center,
a little bit of,
have them help fund it.
I think we could just go do it.
Yeah, I think we could just literally just go do it.
Yeah,
just walk in with a camera. Those guys.
We'll start with Stefan.
It's never, and then you know what's also funny about Guitar Center? There's never anybody in there to help you. So you literally just walk in there and then just like
and then if they do,
somebody take that idea and give me executive producer credit, please.
Throw him his cut, please.
Give my credit, please. You know what I'm saying?
Give him the percentage, please. Man.
I'm just trying to do the ad libs.
That's crazy. So I'll tell y'all how I got started real quick. So this was like 2002. Me and my homeboy Darren, he goes by the name of Labox. You can Google him, by the way, and you'll find out all about this guy. Labox.
Okay.
Labox. Yeah, from Houston. So me and him,
I thought you were playing that video game.
We had a computer in our chemistry class. This was senior year maybe, and this fool loaded Fruity Loops on the computer, and so we would be in chemistry class making beats.
With like a CD or something.
No,
how did he get it on there?
The program was just on the computer. And so we'd be in the back of the class during our lab hours, just making beats on the computer.
This is
and we would
like
save
FL1
this was early stages, and we would save our sessions because we were making the beats all on stock beats. We would save them to the floppy drive, and then we would go to the crib, and then we would work on them, and we would email the beats back to each other. And then when we met up at school the next day, we'd exchange floppy.
Oh my god,
dude, that's sick.
2002.
That's so badass.
2002. So we started making beats then, right? So then I go off to college or whatever, and then like I start DJing or whatever. My homeboy Ox decides to still produce. And he sends me a lot of the like beats that he's working on. And so in my DJing or whatever, we remixed the whole Black album. You know how the Jay-Z's Black album in 2004 it came out, and he put out the acapellas. Well, we made our own beats and put that on top of the on top of the black album. So we had our own we had our own version of Dirt Off His Shoulder, Lucifer, all that. And I need to find them because I bet them hoes. I bet they still slap.
Early flips.
I feel like they still slap. Bro. And I'll have to let you hear those. And what I did was I went to Best Buy, and I want to say this was my sophomore year, and I went to Texas State, by the way, down there in San Marcos. So shout out to Southwest Texas State, Texas State, San Marcos, Texas, everybody out there. And I went to Best Buy, and I bought a stack of the blank CDs. And so me, my roommate, and like two of my homegirls like spent the whole weekend in my dorm room burning the CDs. And Monday morning I hopped out on the quad with a stack full of that album that we remixed and passed them shits out. I remember going to a Greek party, like an alpha party, and they were playing our remix, our Dirt Off the Shoulder remix. And like that's being dope. In the crowd and hearing it and seeing people like dance around and play, it was crazy.
That sounds amazing.
It was crazy. Yeah. That's kind of like how I got into it. And through Darren, I met Pat. That's how I met Pat, because they were taking the beats that we were making. They used to put them on the Star Trek forum, which was this forum that I guess I feel like Pharrell and whoever ran the Star Trek record label, whoever ran that website, they had a blog, and so that blog had like a little forum or whatever, like an online community. It was like Reddit type shit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But people would post beats, and then a bunch of people would comment, and other people would make like remixes of the beats and this and that. And so funny. Go Google this stuff.
That's funny.
Google this stuff. It will blow your mind. All your favorite producers came off that Star Trek forum. Mm-hmm. Pat came off of that. Tyler, the Creator, came off of that. Mm-hmm. Drake was on there. I think who else was on there?
Oh man, we never talked about that, but I know about that.
There's like everybody who's popping right now. Like Boy Wonder, he was on there. God, I'm gonna find out. There's a much like when you go Google it, you'll see all the names of the people who came off that forum. But Pat was one of them, and that's how I met Pat. Yeah, was off of that forum because we ended up just like the three of us just ended up making music together. Like up until like this day, we're still like while I've been sitting here, Pat has been sending me music. So like it's fire. We're still it's like fire. we still boys are dope. still working together, and so through that and DJing and working in radio and working in A&R, I've just established a network of
establish that network
of relationships and people I've worked with, and all these stories of like I've got stories with Ninth Wonder and Rhapsody and my times meeting them, and I got a story about meeting Tribe Called Quest and getting them to autograph Low End Theory for me.
How does that go? How does that go?
They were at Nice Kicks. Everybody except for Q-Tip. And when I knew that they were this was in the early Nice Kicks days. This was when they were on West 29th. It's not where they were now, but like across the street.
Right.
And they had Tribe Called Quest was there. Fife and Ali, they were there. And I went home, grabbed my record, put on some dope kicks, and then shot down to Nice Kicks. And I waited until they were done signing autographs to have a whole conversation with them about Low End Theory and like that album and all that, and they autographed it. So in my living room I have Tribe Called Quest, Low End Theory framed, autograph with my name on it. Yeah, so I still got to get Q-Tips on there. So one day I'm gonna meet Q-Tip and get him to autograph it. But
Q-Tip, when you hear this,
yes. Holla at me. Right. Holla. We got beats for you too, man. Yeah. So we got beats for you. So everybody, we got beats for you. Yeah, if you trying to make some hits, come holla at us.
Yeah. Just give us a call, dude.
Word. For sure.
You got my number.
But yeah, that's how I got in the game. And my brother suggested that I actually like take try out DJing and then take it serious. And he was a DJ, and then my dad was a DJ as well. So I come from a line of men who were just, you know, involved in music and had a thing for spreading good music
cool.
around.
That's
so
dope.
To have that like around you during your upbringing and stuff.
Yeah, like the music was like a big part of growing up. Like Saturday mornings, like Friday nights and Saturday mornings and Saturday during the
house
daytime
parties.
was all about music. Yeah. Well, my parents would they'd be up playing cards and shit, spades and shit till like for 3, 4 in the morning, and they be playing Stevie Wonder and all that. Like that's what I would hear because they be trying to make me go to sleep, but they got the music up loud, and it's like I'm going to bed to Stevie Wonder like every Friday night when you're like 3 or 4. It's like it's gonna have it's gonna have an effect on you. So for producers, y'all think about that. You know what I mean? It's like think about the people who like tap into your music and who are playing it late at night. Who got kids who are like can't go to bed because they hear your 808 thumping. And
I'm sorry. I apologize to all people.
They play like that's a soundtrack to their lives, and they're like, oh, I remember I used to hear this remix, and it's like I used to hear this Gotta Love It thing. Like it's you know what I mean? That's sick. That's a soundtrack to people's lives that y'all are creating. You know what I mean? Have that shit in mind when y'all in the studio creating, or when you're down and you're feeling like, oh man, I can't get this idea out, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. Like, there's a whole community of people who are tapped into y'all who may not, who you may be letting down. So I'm putting the pressure on you.
Yeah. Good. I work well under pressure.
But that's real shit though. You know
if anything, that's like a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Like, that's nice to hear.
It's true.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's a lot of people that we overlook when it comes to people that are really there for you, like giving you that support.
Yeah, they tap in, man. They tap in. Music is so powerful. Music's powerful. Like when you go and you think about, like, you go through history and you go even to the back in the Bible days, like that's how it was called praise and worship, and it was about music. Like you take those two words, praise and worship, and you list like what that means, and you think about that and how powerful that is, in the way that the act that you show your adoration for the higher power is through music. It's not through like dancing and all that. It's through music. The music comes first. You know what I mean? That's how powerful it is. It's so potent. So
that's really cool.
It's ancient.
Yeah. Yes.
So real quick, I wanted some background on you, G. I want to hear like what's up with you, like.
Oh man,
I think I know G well, but I probably don't, because I know like maybe half the story.
All right.
Where do your roots?
So I was a military kid. Father's Puerto Rican. Mother is Black, Filipino, Hawaiian. Went to high school in Japan. Went to college in Alabama. Music wise, I played the saxophone. I mean, music is everything. I mean, the fondest memories are like, I used to have the little Michael Jackson jacket. I'm a 80s baby, so listening to Michael Jackson, Prince, Janet Jackson, Phil Collins. A lot of it is we call it blue-eyed soul. There was the white guys with the blue eyes that could sing.
Bobby Caldwell, all
of that. So I grew up on a lot of that, and my mom used to always she was always dancing. So like even when we wake up in the morning, like to this day, I have a dance playlist that I just play in the morning. Like it's just music is just part of my everyday. But like growing up, it was what they call the golden era. So like Puffy was like a real big influence to me. Actually,
Bad Boy, yeah.
And if I go back even farther, Teddy Riley was big for me. Rump Shaker is actually what made me want to play the saxophone.
I want to do that.
Yeah. Like I, yeah, exactly. And
had to play it. Had to just.
And then I used to dance. So like MC Hammer, Vanilla Ice, like TLC, like I was into all of that growing up. DJ wise, dabbled in it a little bit in college, but it was more, I knew what to play. It was just, you just play the vinyl, and then once the vinyl's done, play the next song. So it really wasn't like mixing and blending and stuff like I'm doing now. But you know, the DJs that were in the city, you know, DJ Jubilee, who still sells mix CDs. I actually have one in the car now.
Damn.
Jubilee.
City Red, he was the big DJ there, and another dude, Big Show. So yeah, I mean, music was always there, but I dove more into video production. I wanted to be Hype Williams, Spike Lee. So for me, it was always, I would always listen.
Y'all know who Hype Williams?
Oh yeah, Belly.
Okay. Oh, that's Belly.
Yeah.
See, I'm bad.
So you gotta ask those questions around that. Yeah, you gotta ask those questions.
So speaking of Belly, we used to watch Belly every day.
Oh man,
oh my god,
every day.
My shit.
Nas, DMX is probably my favorite rapper, period.
The colors in that film are just so
yeah.
No, the whole aesthetic
all
was
the
wild.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
music.
But no, it was one of those things where it was like music was everywhere for me. And then going to college in the South, that was the big crunk era.
Those parties were wild.
Little John.
Oh yeah.
So I
going to college in like the early 2000s. Oh
so
man.
I saw T.I. early when he first started. I saw Jeezy early.
Yeah. Trap music.
The actual trap music.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole Atlanta blow up, like, because a lot of them would come to my school and perform like on homecoming and
Trap
stuff.
music had like 2 Kanye records on it, didn't it?
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah. And then
y'all don't.
Nope.
I don't really know.
Oh man,
and then I was in LA.
I gotta go back. I gotta go on my crates and grab that, man.
I'm ashamed.
I
I
should
used
know.
to hip hop when Kanye dropped that whole album, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Like that was the first. That was the first album I ever dug deep into. Like I got an iTunes gift card for my birthday.
You're
from my
actually
boy Kyle.
spoiled because that's like $20. You know that was named like the greatest album of the decade.
Yeah,
like
and
that's the first thing that you heard.
That's your first. Wow, your friends have been holding out on you, or you just haven't been around.
There was
there's records that Kanye West has done for other people that are just like phenomenal.
Oh no, I can only imagine.
There's a before Kanye.
Well, I mean, it's not like I've never dabbled into his older stuff.
No, yeah, but the first Kanye album that you named was like
that one?
Like his best one,
right?
Like, arguably,
Devil in a New Dress. I still listen to that shit like daily.
That Rick Ross verse.
Yeah.
Smokey Robinson sample.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes. But no, I mean, you know, and then video production is kind of what took me all over the U.S. I was in Atlanta, D.C. I was in L.A. That's kind of where I met a lot of other celebrities or artists. I actually worked at the very first BET Hip Hop Awards in Atlanta.
I didn't know that.
I still have the badge somewhere. I actually have the script for it and everything. That's when Lil Wayne did Stunt Like My Daddy.
That's
young Jeezy did I Love It. He had the strippers on the with the poles and everything.
That's great.
Yeah. I've met Pharrell before when he was doing his skateboard team with what was it? TK Kennedy.
Yeah, I remember that dude.
So I met him back then. Been with Nas in the studio before. Khalees in the studio. Wyclef.
What?
DMX.
That's crazy.
Who else? Yeah, like I mean. Then Def Jam, they came out with that video game where all the rappers were fighting. So I was in Vegas working on
Def Jam Vendetta, right?
Yeah, so it was called Access Granted, which was on BET. So they used to do behind the scenes show. So I worked on that. One of my homies was the producer of that. So we did the one for Omarion Icebox. We did his video. Chris Brown, one of his early ones. Missy Elliott, Work It. Like, so I was more on the video side of it.
That's crazy. So you were on those sets?
Yeah.
That's
music
that's crazy. I didn't even know
but
that.
music was always there. So like for me, like being in clubs or being in bars, what I would always do is, you know, whatever song the DJ was playing, I would automatically play in my head, like, oh, this goes with this, not knowing that I was actually mixing in my head.
Right.
And then I would probably say 2013, friend of mine, he got in a car accident. He's fine or whatnot, but he was getting all his stuff out, and he found a CD that I made for him in like 2006. And he told me what was on it. He was like, man, you used to.
It's funny we talk about 2006 like it was so long ago, but it actually was.
It was. It was. So like, and the thing about me, like in college, like I used to make a lot of mixed CDs for people. Like I put, to this day, anybody who knows me, I'm the one that put them on an NERD, Pharrell and all of that whole movement. Like a lot of people didn't know that Pharrell had a band called NERD. So a lot of that music I would play, Music Soul Child, Van Hunt, Missy, Bobby Valentino actually went to our rival college, and he played football there, and actually met Denzel, because Denzel's son used to play there, played football.
Really?
Who's actually on, what's the show with The Rock?
Ballers.
Yeah. So he's on there. So I met him way back then.
That's crazy.
So yeah, but you know, for me it was, you know, I used to be in the military. Like I said, music is kind of what kept us going, especially like wartime, things like that. I used to always play 50 Cent, I Get Money on paydays. So like the 1st and the 15th, we'd be in the vehicle and I would hit the radio, I would do my call sign, and then I would play it. And then everybody, that would be like the reminder that, you know, we got paid today, you know, and then we go out and go, I mean, I would get in trouble, like, you know, because like the whole base would hear it. Because like, you know, because I would have to call in before we leave. But,
right.
But no, I mean, music is, for me, is everything. Like, it's like a DJing has become like a therapy for me because, you know, it's kind of my escape. And I feel like for the 3 to 4 hours that you're with me, it's my job to, you know, get your mind off whatever troubles or stress or whatever you've had throughout the week. So, you know, that's why I'm real big on creating that experience and stuff like that. So
that's dope. I like that. I like that outlook.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. That's tight, man. Thanks for giving us some background, you guys. Thanks
of course.
Thanks for nice hanging out.
Thanks for coming through, man. And,
yeah, of course.
And all that. We're gonna have to come pull up on y'all in San Antonio.
Oh yeah, for a part 2.
Yeah, get some good food or something. You know.
Yes, dude. Yeah, we'll film a podcast while we're eating some good food.
Word.
Yeah, man. All right, cool. Well, I guess we can go ahead and wrap this up. You know, let's go ahead and sign out. This has been Gotta Love It podcast. I'm Jonah
IDB, and we got
Willtothe.
Gniice with 2 eyes.
Peace, y'all.
Yeah, peace, everybody.